Nice speed bump handling. And again. Alright, there's a speed bump and a car backing into this driveway here. Let's see what we got. Coming out of the driveway. Alright, nice. It creeped to see if that car was going to come out first. Took the speed bump nice and easy. Nice, natural, smooth handling of the lane selection. Let's see if it goes around these folks making a right. Deciding to stay in the lane, we're moving fast enough. Looks like I accidentally triggered Rainbow Road here. Nice handling of being cut off. A little earlier I wasn't applying enough force to the wheel and then I grabbed it too fast and it disengaged. So I had to re-engage and somehow triggered Rainbow Road. I think I might have hit the stalk too many times. Braking here, I don't know what's happening. Let's see. I don't know what you see, car. We don't need to go that slow. Okay. That was interesting. Now we have a bus we should slow down for here. Alright, that's good. Let's blink. Oh, very natural. That was nice. That felt very human. Staying on the course. course, next to that emergency vehicle, not emergency vehicle, generator or something that was pulled over there. Recognizing it not as a vehicle about to enter the roadway. We should be making this right. No blinker yet. Saw that visibility blocked by this Jeep. It actually saw it as green even though it was red. The light there. Full stop. No hesitation. That felt nice. This is my first drive on FSD 12. I've been seeing a lot of videos of the car pulling over at the destination. Let's see if that happens here. Very nice. It pulled over. It seems like right now it's noticing that we've cut curbs and driveways. Trying to find a spot past the driveways, and wow, yeah, it just parked. That was pretty cool. Alright, let's keep going. I'll navigate home now. I just want to go home. I think so. I'm going to go to work because of the time of day. Let's go home. And it just came out from that parking spot on its own. It's something I've never seen before. So outside of that little ghost braking period on the drive over, it was very boring and very smooth, which is a very good thing. I'll take phantom braking over, you know, running a stop sign or a red light or something. Red with stop sign, recognized it immediately. Cars love to cut the corner here. So some large noticeable differences for me so far are speed bump handling was non-existent previously, which is great. I think it's probably using the occupancy network to get some depth off the road, and notice that the speed bumps are not flat. The other piece is just how there's no hesitation from the stop at a stop sign or a light to the transition into actually going when it's your turn. That was nice there, and let the other car go first. And then of course the parking at destination and exiting parking spot. I'll have to do another one with a parking lot test at some point, but parking lot handling has been something that has also been mentioned as a huge upgrade with 12. Big difference here is end-to-end neural nets, not hopping through a controller made up of massive 300,000 plus lines of C++ explicit controls. You can think of that as like basically what Carpathian team were building when he was there was taking the bag of pixels from the real world and outputting this vector space representation of what's happening, which honestly is what you're seeing here on the screen to some extent. And then this massive decisioning engine, these 300,000 plus lines of code, the controller would then decide what to do given this state of the world. That's a gross simplification, but at a high level it's fairly accurate. And now instead what's happening is the car is getting pixels in from all 8 surround cameras, also some metadata about the state of the world, and then the output of the network is a predicted action that the car should take, which is extraordinary and is only possible because Tesla has 5 million cars out there on the road, a large subset of which are collecting data constantly, so you have enough quality and variety in the data set to be able to actually train a massive neural network on a large swath of reality to be able to produce this real world AI that can drive. Like, this is arguably the most advanced, maybe not even arguably, the most advanced robot in the world. And it's got a online neural network navigating the real world at scale across millions of vehicles. And when it catches like a tough situation, like one where folks are disengaging a lot at a certain section of the road or a certain type of intersection, through the data engine, these millions of cars out there that are collecting data, it's a pretty awesome ability that Tesla has that no one else really has right now, to be able to say, find me more experiences like this, and it can go search, it can put out essentially a classifier that looks for more situations that the cars are encountering that are similar to the situation that was the problem area. And when it sees them, it captures, a clip of the video from all 8 cameras and the action that the driver took, whether FSD or autopilot was engaged or not. Honestly, preferably in those situations, you want FSD not engaged, so you can get the actual labels for the data, the actions that the driver took, and then those go back into the network training. And Elon said fairly often that Tesla is compute constrained. You have all these huge companies in the world building these foundation models, these large language models, these multimodal foundation models that are just scooping up and eating up these H100s and previously A100s from NVIDIA to train these networks on, and that is the limited resource across the world right now. Is for certain use cases, data is the limited resource. That's not the limited resource for Tesla. It's training compute, because it takes a very long time to actually train these neural networks on the large data sets that you need to be able to accomplish a task like driving. And for Tesla, more recently, Elon has mentioned that it's not as much of a problem as it's been before. So I don't know if that means that it's probably a combination of some success in scaling their training infrastructure. Dojo is supposed to be a large part of that at some point, but he's mentioned that Dojo is not necessary for FSD to be fully realized. I think that's fairly challenging to predict, and Dojo would help if it were able to come online in a meaningful way this year. And they mentioned it's online in some capacity, but in a significant way. So it's either some combination of infrastructure or algorithmic improvement. They've done some remarkable things in terms of variable size data type storage and operations within the actual network at training and inference. Inference is when you predict the actions. Training is when you look at the data to build the model and train the model to be able to make those predictions. So it's probably some combination of infrastructure improvements scale of compute or efficiency of leveraging that compute, keeping the GPUs actually like full and in use at all times is a big challenge when you're training these large neural networks. And on the other side, I'm sure they've made some algorithmic improvements because they've done some pretty bleeding edge stuff on that front to make the training more efficient. So we're coming up to my house now. This has been the most unremarkable drive ever, which is great. It's done everything almost exactly as I would. Now we're to my driveway, and it just drove right past my house. So after all that praise, we went way too far, which is okay. We're gonna have a few hiccups, but it's gonna keep improving, which is pretty awesome. Now that we're at full end-to-end neural nets, pixels in, actions out.